What's going on, y'all? I'm back with another quick volume of Welcome to the Franchise. Just want to tap in with some of the NBA takes what's been going on this week. Had the LUKA revenge game going on. Also a little bit of chatter about Jason Tatum. Does he get the respect that he deserves and everything? And then just want to tap in a little bit more about how things might shape out with the playoffs and certain tiers that I think teams are in. So let me get right into it right now with this LUKA revenge game here. To be honest with you, I know a lot of people out there being like, yo, LUKA's going to drop 40 tonight. He's going to go crazy. He's going to be wild. They're going to blow them out. I didn't really think that. I think that the whole occurrence, everything that happened is still fresh in everyone's, mind and everything and how they're feeling about it, especially someone like LUKA. I didn't think he was going to have an underwhelming game and everything. He still dropped the triple-double. But I think that this first game was just a little preview of the onslaught of the revenge that's going to be coming down the line. They got a couple games, I believe, still in April. And I think that's the real shit. That's the real shit that's gonna be the revenge games where he might start going crazy once he gets a little bit more comfortable in his field. He had a great game the other night against the Nuggets, dropped 30, had a big game, and it's just been kind of steady cooking there a little bit for him. So I think by the time it's April and they got to play them, I think 2 more times again, he's loading up. He's gonna be loading up between now and then while he plays these other teams and gets in his rhythm. That's going to be the real onslaught where he might explode. And also, he knows he's got to go crazy with that because that's going to be leading into the playoffs where, who knows, in a scenario, they might have to see each other in the playoffs. We'll see. But I think it was still a good performance. He dropped the triple-double there. He set the tone, his energy early, staring down NICO while he was, in the pregame doing his push-ups, staring down the bench and everything. But like I said, this is just a preview. I'm waiting for those other games where I want to see him really, really go off. I know everybody was looking for that in this one. But the person that really went off and showed out was Kyrie, who I had a feeling would have a big game against him because, he wanted to be like, listen, I know all y'all niggas going to be talking about LUKA and the revenge and this and that or whatever, and that's my bro and all that. But this my shit now. I'm the nigga that's still here, and I'm still cooking. And he dropped the 30-piece. On it, came out crazy early, hitting the threes, crossing people up. Dropped the 30-piece on him. And he was coming crazy from the jump, from the beginning of that game. But all in all, still a good game by LUKA and LeBron, and also Austin Reeves. So that's looking good. It's looking good for a preview, like I said, for the next matchups that they're gonna have with each other down in April. Now, another thing that I took from this, from some of the clips that have been out there as well, and what I've seen in this game and what I've seen in previous games, especially the game versus the Nuggets. I know I'm a little late on that, but good coaching is back. It's here, and it with JJ Redick. And I said this in the beginning when I started tapping into getting back to tapping in with the NBA. When I seen a couple games with JJ Redick coaching at the Lakers, this is way before the LUKA trade and everything else that went on. I observed, I'm like, this is the type of coaching that motherfuckers need to see, is what I like to see out here in the NBA. And, JJ Redick was doing that from the beginning of the season, and you see it still carrying on, and now you got more talent. You got 2 elite talents now here, and you're going to be coaching other people like that. This shit is good to see, and like I've been saying, man, I can't see no other team coming out the West right now. I really can't. I mean, actually, I can. I'm lying. I can see possibly OKC challenging for that, but it's good coaching here, and I think he continues like this, and everybody else keeps playing and going hard with scoring and playing, giving defensive effort, and they'll be in the championship. And they'll be in the championship against the Celtics, which is gonna lead me into next. All this talk about the Jason Tatum disrespect, and he's not seen as a top guy and everything like that for what he's done so far at his age. Okay, so let me get into this, right? So I think there was a quote out here from him or someone else or whatever, saying that it feels like if it were anybody else, they'd be getting more love or some shit like that and all that. You know what? I ain't gonna hold you. It's valid for him to be upset. It's valid. Cause his resume for his age in his first few seasons is valid. You got 5 Eastern Conference Finals appearances since you was young, and you got a ring. You just got the ring. You just got the chip last year. You know what I mean? You was going against LeBron in Cleveland, all that shit, and you was still doing your thing from the young years. You had to deal with Kyrie, was still doing your thing, all of that shit. You know, and you're always in the Eastern Conference every time, all the time. So yeah, I would feel disrespect and be upset too. It's very valid, and you should get a little bit more respect in your name. I did bring up in a video the other day that I think he should still be considered as one of the faces of the league. Real clean cut off the court, got a dope situation off the court there. You know what I mean? R&B singer, great kid. Everybody knows him, all that, and you still be doing numbers. You're still a top dog in this league, one of the top dogs in this league that be doing numbers and shit. And scoring threes, rebounds, and even assists. You know what I mean? So why wouldn't he be the face of the league, you know? But you feel like you getting a little disrespect despite all of this. But here's why. Let me say why, right? You say you check all the boxes. Let's keep it a buck. Nobody really likes to check all the boxes, ass nigga. Nobody really likes people like that, right? It's type lame. You know what I mean? There's some sports fans out there that they not really gonna appreciate or like that kind of grind. Where it's like, well, I checked all my boxes and I did 1 step and I did 2 step and I did 3 step and 4 step and 5 steps, so now it should be like this. There's a good amount of sports fans out there and just people that don't really appreciate that kind of grind or don't like that kind of shit. I'm not saying there's not any of them that don't like that, don't like that or appreciate that. There's a good majority that do like that. Like, yeah, he checks all the boxes, this and that, clean cut. You know, there's fans out there like that for you, and you're gonna get your respect there and your light there, right? But for the most part, society loves and respects people more that make success on their own terms as a dog. You know, that's mainly, you know what I mean, what society loves and respects. They like to see people like, I did it my way. I did it like a dog. I don't give a fuck about the rules and checking the boxes, and I still got my success. A lot of people mainly respect and love that. Now the next thing, the first series versus Golden State. The mentality and the vibe with tenacity wasn't really there compared to your partner in that same series, Jaylen Brown, who's a fucking dog. He was going crazy in that one, who also took that finals MVP for that chip last year. All right, he took that shit because he been going crazy and hell-bent on trying to get that chip and get his lick back or whatever from the series versus the Warriors, where you kind of a little bit deferred a step back in that series and shit, while Jaylen Brown was going crazy, going hard the whole series, taking it to the paint, going to the lane the whole time. So he coming back last year like, fuck that, I'm not letting this opportunity go. I don't give a fuck who we see in the finals. He didn't even give a fuck if it was the Warriors or not, clearly. And he took that MVP for that shit, right? Then you got the Olympic shit after that, right? I don't know. I don't know. Not really your fault. It kind of seemed like it was a little haterish, a little bit of hate vibe in there. It was kind of weird to me because you definitely were one of the best players on that team, and you're just coming off a championship, even if you're not an MVP. But it's like, I think that you should at least got some burn. I thought that was a little bit of haterish. Not really your fault there, but that's not a good look. We don't know. We the people. We don't know. We not there at the practices. We not the experts and writing articles there. We ain't getting flown out for that shit. So we don't know what the fuck happened behind closed doors. But it's not a good look, right? Then you got no league MVP. No league MVP, which you probably should have. You probably should have had maybe one of them or considered for one of them that Joker had in all them Jokic years where he just kept ringing off MVPs, right? You know, so there goes that. So, and then your game, as far as watching the game from a fan's perspective, kind of changed up your game a little bit. It's too much with this 3-point shooting shit. It's too much with the perimeter game. Like, what happened to that dog? Like, you had that dog in your game. You was going to the lane, dunking on niggas. It kind of I know you still got it. I've seen it. You still got it, but it kind of left. You kind of took a step back from that. Like, what happened to the games when you was dunking on LeBron, dunking in that face? What happened to that type nigga? What happened to that? So I think that's a little bit why, as far as maybe from a fan's perspective and maybe around the league and in the media and shit, that you may not have as much respect or may not be getting the light and the love and as applauded as other dudes haven't even accomplished what you've accomplished at your age, like the SGAs and maybe the Ant-Mans and the Jaws and all that shit. It's because them motherfuckers come through and want to do all this shit on their own terms and with that dog mentality and always going crazy. They don't got to defer to no number 2 nigga on their team. They know they the one. You know, so maybe it's that. I mean, you still dope, though. You still dope as fuck. You really are. And part of it could be as well, you know, maybe a little bit of NBA nostalgia from other people, from, you know, what players were doing at your age after they won a championship, or at your age, the greats before you and everything like that, the accolades that they had by then, or maybe nostalgia of that franchise that you play for in comparison to the killers before you at that franchise that brought them those rings and those championships. It's a little unfair because you had the most 50-point games in franchise history, more than Bird, who was a fucking killer, multiple champion. Definitely more than Paul Pierce and Garnett, who they have one championship like you, but they've been to multiple championship games against other GOATs, you know. It's a little unfair, but you might just have to go a little harder, man. Tap into your Mamba mentality. Quick, because the window is still wide open until it's not. So you better tap into that motherfucking Mamba mentality real quick. You probably got to go harder, because I think you deserve the respect, but you got to earn it. You got to earn it. You got to show us. You got to show me. You got to show everybody. Prove us wrong. Prove all the motherfuckers talking all that shit out there wrong. You know, but like I said, you still dope though. Now next I just want to get into the playoff team tiers that I have and how it's looking. I know the season's almost over here, so I kind of got them split up in the tiers here about how they will look and the motherfuckers you got to watch out for and how you got to look at them in the playoffs. All right. So my first tier, which will be the top tier, is going to be the NFC niggas. And what this means is the not fucking around crew. These are the motherfuckers that when you see them play, especially as of recently and everything, and where they're going to be seated at and how they've been doing and the players that they have and how those players are going to perform most likely in the postseason, the not fucking around crew, the teams I got up there, the Celtics, Lakers, OKC, and the Cavs. Them motherfuckers right now in the regular season is not fucking around with anyone. They not playing no fucking games. They blown good teams out. They're blowing out teams that people want to have them up there as elite with them and shit. And they're playing really good basketball all together, really efficient. And they know how to finish out games and win. All right. So that's those teams right there. Celtics, Lakers, OKC, and Cavs. Not fucking around crew. Now the next tier I got is the niggas that we just hoop and go home. The we just hoop and go home guys. That's going to be your Knicks teams, Clippers teams, the Magic, the Pacers, the Rockets, maybe you could throw Memphis in there, and teams like the Atlanta Hawks if they squeak into the playoffs still. I think they're one of the playoff seeds, or they're at least number 8 or some shit like that. But these are all the motherfuckers, these are all the teams where it's like, yeah, y'all hooping, y'all nice. You know what I mean? Y'all putting up numbers, y'all doing y'all thing. Y'all still competitive against the other guys in these lower teams right now to close out the regular season. But in the postseason, okay, y'all niggas nice, y'all doing y'all thing. Y'all might win the first round, but in the second round, when you got to play real motherfuckers, y'all going home. Y'all going home. Or even in the first round, if you don't come correct and on your P's and Q's and you just want to hoop, do your numbers and be like, all right, it was good basketball out there today. That was fun. We put up points, we did numbers and shit like that. But in the first round, you could fuck with a nigga, which is gonna be my next tier. Fuck with them motherfuckers in the first round. When you think we're just gonna show up and hoop today. We're just gonna show up and play and then get to the second round. If you run into this next tier I'm about to talk about, you going home. You going home early. You know what I mean? So those are the teams that's just, yo, we just hoop and go home, guys. Y'all just want to hoop, be nice. Y'all had a nice record for the regular season, but y'all can go home quick. So that brings me to my last tier, which are the diehards, the diehard niggas, the fly in the ointment, the monkey in the wrench niggas, the pain in the ass niggas, the old shit guy, like, oh shit, we gotta look out for these niggas right now in the first or second round, whatever. And that's the T-Wolves, the Mavs, the Nuggets for sure. The Nuggets for sure. The Bucks, the Pistons, the type of shit that they on, tight time they on right now. The Pistons, yeah. And then maybe the Heat. You know, maybe the Heat and the Warriors too. Maybe if they hold on to that 8th seed, or if they make it through the play-in, the Warriors too. So these are the diehards. That's that tier right there. These are all the motherfuckers that if you got to play them in the first round, they could fuck. If you're not on your P's and Q's, you're not on point with your shit the whole time, from start to finish, and take care of business, these motherfuckers might get you up out of there in a 7-game series. Even that, they're taking you to a 7-game series even if you win. So they not gonna go out easily. The diehard niggas, they're not gonna go out easily. So taking you to a 7-game while you gotta get to the next round and then play an elite team with another team that's really gonna come with it. You don't want these problems with these teams, I don't think, in the first round. You definitely don't want no problems with none of these teams in the second round if they make it there, if these teams make it there. So those are the diehards there, and those are all my tiers right there. Out of this tier from the diehards, the ones I see most likely making it to the second round are the Nuggets and the Bucks. I could stand on that for sure. Nuggets and the Bucks, they're definitely for sure gonna make it to the second round if they're a lower seed. Or anything like that. So those are my tiers there to wrap it up for this quick volume of Welcome to the Franchise. Y'all out there, be easy.